right, you guys, it's about that time, man. It's time for us to have this conversation, man. It's time for me to remind you of who you are. All right? Because I know it's so many of us that's not living up to our full potential. I know it is. I know it's a lot of us that's choosing fear or moving in fear, living in fear more than they live in faith. And now it's time. It's time for you to choose your master. It's time. So let me tell y'all what I've been doing lately, right? I've been tapping back into books that I first purchased when I started embarking on this journey, right? But I wasn't mature enough or wise enough or even open enough to receive those messages clearly during those times. But now I'm way more advanced in my thinking. I've grown a lot. So I'm able to get what I'm supposed to get from these books. So you have to double back sometimes, because a lot of us, when we start embarking on the journey, we just make hella purchases that's recommended by all type of gurus in some shape or form. And we don't really connect with the messages because we're not ready. We're not ready. And now I'm ready, man. So let me tell y'all. So this book, the book that I'm reading right now is Conversations with God. This is book 1 by Donald Neil Walsh. And let me tell you, I cried. I cried and I apologized to God, because in that moment when I read these few sentences, right, I had a realization that I've been moving and living in fear a lot. I doubted a lot. I let that win over faith a lot. I'm gonna read the sentence to y'all in a minute, but let me tell y'all, let me have a quick transparent moment with y'all, right? So I wrote a book, Aina's Keys to Personal Freedom, 2 years ago, right? And I wrote this book because I felt called to do it. I had so many people reach out to me like, man, you need to write a book. You need to write a book. So I did, right? But let me tell you why the book didn't do so well. I didn't push it. I didn't believe that people truly would support a woman like me. When I said a woman like me is a masculine presenting woman, I felt like the world still have this idea about us. They don't care about our stories. They don't even think we really have real stories. They don't think we really struggle. They don't think we could be helpful. I sold myself on that idea. Even though I did what I felt called to do, I also lacked the belief, the faith that it can be number one, that it can do well. I lacked that. So guess what? What you believe is what you achieve. I achieved what I believe. It not doing so well. I know I was moving like that. And I woke up one morning and I said, you know what? I'm about to sell this idea back to the world, because I was sold on that. I don't want to own that. I don't want to move like that. I don't want to doubt God. I don't want to move like there's a power out there that's more powerful than God. I'm not moving like that no more. So let me read this to y'all real quick, okay? Because we be forgetting who we are and who we are an extension of. We be doubting what God gave us. God made us in His image. God is a creator of all things, and God created creators as well. We allow the noise of the world to be louder than God. We allow the noise of humans to be louder than God. We allow our lower self, because God created all things, right? Even though everything is all good because it's all God, but God created the opposite of everything for a reason. So you can recognize one over another, because one can't exist without the other. So you can have a choice, okay? And we have to start choosing wisely. So let me read this to y'all, because I swear I cried. And I apologized to God. Because come on, man. Y'all ready? It is this doubt about ultimate outcome that has created your greatest enemy, which is fear. For if you doubt outcome, then you must doubt Creator. You must doubt God. And if you doubt God, you must live in fear and guilt all your life. If you doubt God's intentions and God's ability to produce this ultimate result, then how can you ever relax? How can you ever truly find peace? Now here's where it's starting to hit me, right? Yet God has full power to match intentions with results. You cannot and will not believe in this, even though you claim that God is all powerful. Ooh. You will not believe in this, even though you claim that God is all powerful. Hold on. And so you have to create in your imagination a power equal to God. Come on, man. In order that you may find, no, let me rewind it back. And so you have to create in your imagination, because God made you creator, right? So we creating something in our imagination, a power equal to God, in order that you may find a way for God's will to be thwarted. I hope I pronounced that right. And so you have created in your mythology the being you call devil. You have even imagined a God at war with this being, thinking that God solves problems the way you do. Finally, this really made me bawl. All right, y'all listening? Finally, you have actually imagined that God could lose this war. Every time we move in fear, we think God can lose that war. Come on, man. Come on, man. We have to do better. We have to constantly remind ourselves who we are an extension of. If God created all things and then gave you free will, you're willingly living in hell or heaven because God gave you free will. God gave you freedom of choice, and God created all things. But in order for you to experience good, you have to know what bad is. But you can't keep choosing to operate out of your lower self. You can't keep choosing to make this lower entity that we created in our imagination, because we are creators too, to be more powerful than God. We cannot keep doing it. And look, so the author of this book, right? Before I read y'all this last joint. The author of this book pretty much was having a conversation with God, right? And he kept saying to God, like, people gonna think I'm crazy. I'm writing this, having a conversation with you, knowing that you're speaking through me. They're gonna think I'm crazy. He said, but yeah, y'all think the people who wrote the Bible, I will only speak to them and not you. Oh, so you think they're special enough for me to give a word to, but not to you? And I created you too? Come on, let's go, man. Let's go, man. So look, this is God's response. So, okay, first, Donald said, of course God can speak if God wants to. It just doesn't seem probable that God will want to speak to me. So this was God's response. This is the root of every problem you experience in your life, for you do not consider yourself worthy enough to be spoken to by God. That we're going to pause right there, because is that not what's going on in the world? When people try to tell you what God wants for you, and you have your own personal relationship with God, and it's opposing what these people are saying, you would be so scared that God is going to punish you that you will follow what God said to somebody else over what God is saying to you. forgetting that God speaks to you and through you as well. Through your feelings, through your thoughts, and through your experiences. The higher end of all three of those. Let me finish this. Good heavens, how can you ever expect to hear my voice if you don't imagine yourself to be deserving enough to even be spoken to? Come on, man. I'm about to end this right there. Whatever is in y'all heart to do, I'm gonna need y'all to do that. Whatever you feel called to do, I'm gonna need you to do that. Fear is the opposite of love. Choose wisely. That's all I got for y'all. But when I'm promoting somebody else's book, y'all go ahead and support my book, man. Aina's Keys to Personal Freedom. It's available on Amazon in paperback, ebook form. You can get the audio book either on Amazon or Apple Books as well. Support me, man. Support me. Now, I'm not going to be all up in y'all face like, Aina's Keys. I'm not doing that. But I have to start speaking about what God gifted me to do with more confidence. Like God sent me. What's that mean? Like God sent you in the room. I need to start moving like that. And you need to start moving like that. Because for some reason, y'all think rejection is rejection. It's not that. I heard, one of my guys at the gym, my man said, rejection is really protection. What you wanted a yes to, God was like, nah, you better than that. So we gonna get this no, but it's gonna move you closer and closer to that yes. As long as you believe in me, that I'm going to get you in the right direction. I mean, on the right. I'm going to get you going in the right direction, and I'm going to get you to where you need to be. A no gets you closer to that yes. So stop thinking it's a setback, because it's not. Rejection, as my man said, is protection. I love y'all. Even if you don't love yourself right now, but you better start. Because God sent you, baby. Ooh, appreciate y'all.